Attention listener. If you can hear this, then you've tuned in to our top secret radio frequency. But not to be alarmed. Kick back, relax, and enjoy. We're talking about Marvel and DC, but they don't have it all. At Star Wars, that's easy, but you know who to call. I'm talking about ZaneMan and Jonni Boy. The powers overflow. With a master plan, they will deploy on the Hero Chat Show.
Welcome to the Hero Chat Show, where we will share segments such as At the Movies, Watching TV, We're Gaming Together, At the Con, or sometimes a special guest, mostly sharing from DC, Marvel, and Star Wars. I'm Jonni Boy.
I'm ZaneMan.
Today, At the Movies with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Watching TV with Andor, episodes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're gaming together with Marvel's Avengers.
That's an apostrophe S.
So do we want to get into it? Do we want to talk about something before we get into it? Or we just want to...
There's that con coming up.
We are going to Galaxy Con, so be looking for that.
Yeah, that's going to have a couple of big actors, I heard.
Yeah, some pretty good stuff here in the local area of where we're from in Richmond.
I think that's it. I think that's the only goings on that's happened.
All right, let's get into it.
All right.
It's the Hero Chat Show at the movies.
Marvel Studios and Walt Disney Pictures' Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, also known as Black Panther 2.
Yep.
Release date was November the 11th, 2022 in the U.S. It's now showing on Disney+. Starring Oscar-nominated actress for Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role, Angela Bassett as Queen Ramonda.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she did pretty well.
She already won, I think, the Golden Globe. One of them she's already won.
I don't know.
I don't know. Letitia Wright as Shuri. Tenoch Huerta as Namor. And director Ryan Coogler.
Did he direct the first one?
He did direct the first one.
I don't remember ever talking about him before.
Yeah, so he directed the first one. Probably they asked Letitia Wright a while ago about 3, and I don't know if she said it or somebody else said it. They were already filming, but they're not. I don't even think it's in production yet, but they're probably going to do a 3.
Going to do a 3?
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but it appears that they're going to probably do a 3.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. So the Wakandans fight to protect the nation from intervening powers following King T'Challa's death. So it opens up at Shuri's lab with AI Griot and staff. And it opens on Shuri talking about curing her brother's illness. With his heart rate dropping, Shuri is trying to make a synthetic heart-shaped herb. As we know, the heart-shaped herb was destroyed in the last movie. Destroyed. But she is too late. The queen enters the lab to say, "Your brother is with the ancestors."
Yeah, I like that little callback. I like the continuity. They had also brought that back in Moon Knight, where they mentioned that too. And I like that it's a reoccurring theme all over Marvel instead of just being like in the one movie about it.
Yeah, the next episode we'll be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and I was just reading today that there was a homage to Moon Knight in that, and you probably caught it too in the after credits scene.
I do not remember.
Okay, we don't want to give it away.
We saw that like months ago at this point.
Sure. So outside of Wakanda, they're all in white. They surround King T'Challa's coffin and give thanks. The coffin has a rise, basically, of the black, giving the Wakanda salute. The whole village is dressed in white, and the Dame Milaje carry Black Panther's coffin, with Shuri and the Queen close behind as they stare at the wall mural of T'Challa. A ship takes the coffin up to it, and the village gives the Wakandan salute. The music fades, several pictures of Black Panther into the Marvel logo with more pictures, then a purple Marvel logo and one of the colors of the Black Panther with no music and no sound.
So a moment of silence for King T'Challa.
And Chadwick Boseman, who played him.
Yeah.
1 year later, In Switzerland, Queen Ramonda, ruler of Wakanda, she takes her seat with 4 guards in the UN. The discussion is sharing resources, especially vibranium. Queen says they never trade vibranium under any circumstances.
It's like the strongest metal ever, as far as we know.
In the comics, it wasn't vibranium.
Yeah.
It was antimanium or something like that.
Adamantium.
Something like that, yeah. So
adamantium.
What is it?
Adamantium.
Adamantium, that's it. That's what supposedly was inside of the Wolverine when he became all liquid metal.
Yeah, and then X-Men 2. That's what they had, like the liquid form of.
But they probably can't use that, so vibranium is what they choose to talk about.
Yeah.
At the same time, this is going on, the Wakandian Outreach Center in Maui. Military roll up on the doors and demand for the lab workers to get down, asking for the vibranium tools, ask for access to a safe. Intercut back to the UN where the Queen says the king is dead, the Black Panther is gone. Dun, dun, dun. The Dormelage attack the military intruders. They were hiding in the safe. Okoye ask Annika, where is her spears? Because she's using knives that Shuri gave her.
And they're cool knives.
They're pretty cool. They're different than the spear. The Queen says there was another attack last night on an outreach facility. Proof of member states' involvement. The military mercs were French. Further attempts on Wakanda's resources will be an act of aggression. The Queen knows of the efforts to find vibranium outside of Wakanda and wish the best of luck. And it's pretty hardcore because she comes in there with some guys, like 7 guys. They put down their microphone. She talks in her microphone. The whole time while this thing is intercutting, that's when the Dormelage bring these mercs in because they've caught them. And basically the host nations, France and United States, are the ones that are equal to her distance. And she basically says it's France and the U.S. that are trying to take vibranium. So she calls them out directly in the UN. Atlantic Ocean, pilot comes near a sea platform and lands. They are sending divers down underwater to the ocean floor. Vibranium in the ocean. Everything on the ocean floor all of a sudden loses power. An eerie voice is heard outside. Something moved fast in the water. It's a phantom jellyfish. Jackson's vitals were lost. Shalazar's signal is lost. More voices and then people out of the water. Mercs basically start walking to the edge and jumping in the water to their deaths. 2 inside have earplugs. Chopper warms up and they think it's the Wakandans. 2 from inside make their way to the chopper. A man leaps out of the water, blue, dressed in a shark helmet, throwing a spear. 2 others leap with him. Several more climb up on the rig. They knew it was not the Wakandans. The chopper is getting pulled backwards and is being spun around and thrown into the ocean. Someone is suspended in the sky overhead.
Who could it be?
Who could it be now?
It must be Okoye.
Who can it be now?
All right.
All right. In
Okay.
Wakanda, the Queen is watching a news story on her UN appearance on a ship. Shuri is in the lab working on emergency responses. Superhuman strength suits. The Queen asks about recreating the heart-shaped herb. Shuri says they don't need the herb, but new technology. And then she says, what of the Black Panther, she asks. Shuri was trying to save her brother, not the mantle. It's been a year since Black Panther's passing.
I think if she nonstop worked that, you think she could have improved it?
She could have, but she wasn't going really anywhere because she was just so obsessed with trying to make him better. In the beginning scene anyway.
Do you think she could have made the herb even better to protect all of them?
She could have. Later on, we'll get into it. Go back to the heart-shaped herb.
Then maybe we'll talk about it later.
The Queen and Shuri go out into the woods by the water. The Queen did a ritual and she found T'Challa in the breeze. Shuri doubts her. The Queen burns her funeral garments to make or mark the end of mourning. Shuri refuses. If Shuri thinks about her brother too often, she thinks about burning the world and everything in it.
Not the world.
And this comes into play later on, too, in the movie about burning the world and everything in it.
We didn't give a spoiler alert again.
Hopefully by now they've seen the movie, or we're going to spoil it.
Hopefully by now they get that we always forget to do a spoiler.
Yeah, we do. We should really have a little jingle that says spoilers.
Also, there's a spoiler.
There's a spoiler alert.
I feel like they should have that for every section because that's just all we do.
We spoil the heck out of it. But if you're listening to this podcast, we're breaking it down. So hopefully you've watched it. If not, we're spoiling it.
Yep.
A man appears out of the water flying on winged feet. His name is Cuckoo Khan. Enemies call him Namor. He needs Wakandans' help to stop the other countries from mining vibranium. The Queen says vibranium only exists here in Wakanda. Namor says your son exposed vibranium. In response, other nations are searching the planet. He suggests Wakanda find the scientists and bring them to him, the scientists that made the machine that found the vibranium. Namor talks of his many soldiers. He gives them a shell. Once they have the scientists, blow into it and then put it in the water, and Namor will return to them.
But is he a threat?
He talked about the army, and he was going toe-to-toe with the Queen, and the Queen wasn't really having it, so it seemed like he was, if he wasn't a threat, he could be a threat.
That's always how it goes.
They convene the council. The council talks about Namor. Queen visits Shuri in the lab. Shuri is checking out the vibranium detector used to find the vibranium that Namor left.
Yep.
Shuri says whoever built it is brilliant and asks the Queen for Shuri to get the scientist. We intercut to Alexandria, Virginia. We're going to check out Ross, who meets with Shuri and Okoye. On a job, they are looking for the scientist who built the vibranium detector. Ross asks about mining, the ship with multiple casualties, basically CIA and Navy SEALs, 30 guys, 2 officials gone. They don't give any information about that. Shuri says to assist them to find the scientists and the machine, but the kid will need to build it. Shuri says a kid.
A kid?
It's a kid that built the machine.
Like a 5-year-old? They just took it apart and put it back together?
Yeah, and the U.S. needs another machine. We don't know if she's 5. I guess the
like
next scene,
6?
basically, we find that out because Ross
7?
helps him find him.
So 8.
Cambridge, Massachusetts, MIT.
That's pretty impressive for an 8-year-old.
Queen tells Shuri and Okoye to bring a student back to Wakanda. Shuri convinces Okoye to let her talk to the student. Shuri asks for Riri Williams. Riri recognizes Shuri, tells her she's here for vibranium detector. Rory is 19. He asks if she's pissed off Wakanda. Okoye is hiding in the bathroom. Rory throws a speaker, and Okoye slices it in half. It's pretty funny. She was getting ready to throw something else, too.
Yeah, and she said, I gave you 5 minutes or something like that.
She told Shuri she'd given her 5 minutes. That was enough.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I like that scene.
Yeah, Okoye was pretty funny in parts of this movie. They go to Rory's garage lab. Rory wants to get her work laptop. Her life's work is on this laptop. Shuri asks about plans. On a board is Stark Tech, or it looks like Stark Tech. She asks, is that Stark Tech? FBI shows up. Rory has a suit. Shuri leads the feds on a chase. Okoye is in Rory's dad's car. Rory takes out the drone, and the cops are blocking the bridge. A spear takes out Rory, and a water bomb take out Okoye and Shuri.
I feel like we should go into a bit more detail than she has a suit.
I didn't want to give anything away too much.
The movie kind of gives it away from that point.
Sorta, I guess. So you can talk about, if you want, the suit.
All right, fine, I'll be vague. So the suit is a mechanism type suit that allows the user to fly and shoot from the palms.
Basically like Iron Man. It's Iron Man suit.
Come on.
It's Stark Tech.
Literally,
because Shuri said that. I thought you were going to just give it away.
I was vague.
We already said spoilers.
I was vague, and you were like, yeah, you be vague. And so I was, and then you're just like, oh, by the way, it was an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, that's what it was, right?
Why'd you make me be vague?
You asked it to be vague. I didn't tell you to be vague.
Come on.
Okoye gets out of the wrecked car because Shuri is out, but she's stable. Rory is being pulled, and Okoye cuts the cord with her spear. A killer whale jumps up, and another sperm whale drops off a blue man in a hammerhead shark skull with a long axe. The blue woman in the headdress takes care of the cops, and the 4 others take on Okoye. She wounds them all and slices the face of the hammerhead guy before he gets to Rory as he tells the other 3 to return to Mora. Okoye and Hammerhead fight. The headdress throws a water bomb, that's Namor, that knocks Okoye into the water and wakes up Shuri.
This must be Avatar: The Way of Water.
That's what we thought. They were blue people jumping out of the water.
Yeah, I was like, is this the right theater?
We had seen the preview to Way of the Water, and we were like, is this Avatar?
I'm confused.
I don't know. Are we watching? What movie are we watching now?
We've walked into the wrong theater before.
So the one guy had the hammerhead shark skull, and the other had a big headdress. That was Namor, and we'll find out who the other one is in a little bit. Shuri demands that they take her to Namor. Atuma is the hammerhead, and Okoye sees them leave with Shuri and Riri. Ross shows up on the bridge. Director DeFontaine made the call. It's Wakandans. Director, as she is known, wants Ross to take her to Langley, which is an 8-hour drive, and we'll find out that they were once married.
No, they weren't.
Some more spoilers, yeah. So
You're
Director
lying.
DeFontaine, and then Ross and her used to be married.
They're lying. They did not.
That's what this says. That's what the notes don't lie. I watched the movie.
What do you mean the notes don't? You could have just, you might not have just seen it.
That's true, too. Could have seen it cross-eyed or something.
Yeah. You might have
Not
taken
making
your
fun of
glasses
cross-eyed
off.
people if they're out there. But Okoye discusses the attack to the council in Wakanda. The queen strips Okoye of her rank of general. The queen's entire family is gone. Both cry during this scene. It's a really powerful scene. Okoye leaves her spear, and then she leaves.
You really made it sound like a powerful scene when you said this is a powerful scene.
That's why I was given that description, because I wanted to make sure that people knew that it was a powerful scene.
I could really feel the atmosphere.
People are crying. It's a powerful scene.
Yeah.
The queen goes to Shuri's lab and talks to the AI griot. The queen asks to track her Kyoto beads. Kiyomo beads? How do you say it?
You have the notes. I thought the notes didn't lie.
They don't lie, but sometimes they don't help me pronounce it.
Maybe you should.
Kimoyo beads.
Maybe you should start like getting a dictionary instead of the notes.
It's not a regular dictionary. It'd have to be like the Marvel dictionary, because I don't
That'd
know
be
all
cool.
the terms. It
You
would
could get
be.
a lot of. If you got like one for your wife or something.
I'm sure, yeah. So she could be better at the trivia that you give her.
Yeah.
She wouldn't get mixed up with DC, Marvel. She mixes up Marvel with
Yeah,
DC.
I got the joke. Yeah.
And she doesn't mess up Star Trek with Star Wars.
You just did.
I almost did, yeah. Ross is dropping the director off, explaining how the Wakandans figured out who had built the machine because it's classified. He didn't really explain. The dead or the beads go off, and he fakes a phone call, and then the queen talks to Ross. He asks about the student. She explains to Ross that they both were taken by a new power in play, he asked. Her earrings were lost in the mid-Atlantic, but the people spoke Yucate's Mayan.
Yeah.
Yep, Mayan.
So you said that she was taken, right?
Yes.
Did the mom go, I don't know who you are, but I will protect you. Did she say that?
No, but I think she has a certain set of skills.
Was she played by Liam Neeson?
No. But doesn't she have a certain set of skills?
I think so.
I think she has a certain set of skills.
I think you're right.
That would have been funny if she was like, I have a certain set of skills.
Yeah.
Would have told Namor. He would have been like, what?
Yeah.
You haven't seen that movie?
Yo, come on. It's like a blockbuster.
I live in the water, dude. Come on.
Do you think they have TVs down there?
It didn't look like it.
They just need some outlets.
So probably be less vengeful.
Yeah. I mean,
Get some outlets.
it's because they're so bored down there.
Maybe a reality TV show for underwater.
Oh, like waterproof can't they just follow Namor around?
Yeah, something. Maybe or maybe one of his underlings or whatever.
Yeah.
At school, 3 kids greet the queen, and they ask if she's looking for the headmistress. She's in Haiti. They take her. It's Nakia. Queen says that she was missed at T'Challa's funeral. 6 years since she left Wakanda, and the queen tells her that she knows death is not the end. The queen tells Nakia Shuri has been taken. Wakanda need to find and rescue Shuri without being seen. So she asks if she would risk war with Wakanda in order to find Shuri.
And what'd she say?
Nakia's going to do it. She's answering the queen. She's going to be like, yep, I'll do it. Got a certain set of skills. She has a certain set of skills.
The queen also does.
She does too.
Why didn't the queen go do it?
There's something that they really don't explain. The king, the queen, the princess, and even T'Challa, they would all just go wherever they wanted to go, which is fine. They could do what they want. But it's always, they have all these people surrounding them. Like, why did somebody else go? You find out later on why she goes out there. But why don't they have an underling that would go out there and do this kind of work? Why does it always have to be? It's like Star Trek.
Yeah, who's running the country while they're gone?
I know. She's out of the country. I don't know. It's a question that I had during the movie. I'm like, it's always the king or the queen going out, or the princess or T'Challa, and they're both in the same place at the same time. The king got blown up and T'Challa was there too.
That's just an unnecessary risk because you're the last leader there.
Yeah.
And you're leaving the safety of Wakanda.
Yeah. So she's done it more than once, but she's a queen. She does what she wants, I guess.
That's fair.
In the cave, Shuri and Rory wake up. Rory asks if there's a new Black Panther to call. Shuri says that the Black Panther is gone. They bring her royal clothes and they make Shuri leave with one of the guards. In Mexico, Nakia speaks to the locals about the outsiders. Nakia says that she's encountered him too. Tells of a man with winged feet. On the beach, the Kukulkan is what they called the feathered serpent. God of the Kukulkan has been here longer than any of them.
I thought there was an L at the end. I thought it was Kukulkan.
Kukulkan. I could be saying it wrong.
I just thought that's what
Kukulkan.
I thought that's what that one guy said at the end.
Yeah, he says it very pronounced.
Yeah, I only know that because they had that in the trailers. He would go, Kukulkan.
Yeah, he says it really pronounced. All right, back in the cave, Shuri speaks to Namor. He gives her his mother's bracelet, an old Mesoamerican artifact from the 16th century. Asks if he's been alive since then. Deduces his mother was human. He said that she was and that she became something else. On the Yucatan island, a woman by the beach, Namor's mother and village were driven from their farms by smallpox from the Spanish conquistadors. Namor's people turned to the god of rain and abundance, the Chak god. Chak led the shaman to a plant sprouting from a blue rock. Namor's mother was pregnant with him. She did not want to ingest the plant, but the shaman told her to. Her baby will be the firstborn in the new home. He gives her the bracelet made with the herb and saying it will be their new king. She drinks the flower and they all feel sick. Their existence ended. They woke up blue and their ability to breathe air but draw out oxygen from the sea. Now, Namor became the firstborn son of the Talakoan with wings on his ankles and pointy ears to the clouds, the first mutant.
So let me summarize. They drink plant, they die, they can't breathe, they breathe water. That kid is a blue, pointy-eared kid.
He's not blue. Everybody else is blue.
He's a normal-colored, pointy-eared kid.
Yes, exactly. And the first mutant.
You can't say that?
That's what they said in the movie. They said it was the first mutant.
Can't say that.
So, X-Men, just saying.
I thought it was Fantastic Four first.
And they probably won't call them the X-Men. They'll probably call them the mutants because that's what they were originally called in the comic books before X-Men.
When did the X-Men happen?
I don't remember exactly. 60s maybe?
How deep into the mutant lore?
I don't know, but Namor's been around since the 30s, like 38. He was one of the first.
The predecessor to Aquaman.
And if you look in the first Captain America, there was the second oldest, and that's the robot Flash kind of guy.
The robot Flash.
It's basically the character from the Fantastic Four, the brother, but it's in robot form. That's the second oldest person from before they were Marvel Comics. I think they were Timely Comics.
I don't know what Robot Flash is.
Go back and watch, not Flash like the guy that runs, but his name is Flash. But he's the one that's fire, basically. Firestorm, not Firestorm. That's the other.
That's
DC. But the Torch.
Human Torch?
Human Torch, yeah. So if you look back and on that, when Tony Stark is doing the car, the flying car, before when they pan away, they show that robot looking thing that was with Namor in the comics back in the 30s.
Anyway.
Yeah, just a little behind the scenes there. Namor could swim in the sky, and he slowly aged. He breathed the air. A Spanish man cursed him and called him a child without love.
In Spanish? I know how to say that.
And that's why he's called Namor.
Yeah, it's El Niño Sin Amor.
Namor, not love for the surface world. Shuri asked to keep Rory in Wakanda or keep her instead, and she would love to see Namor's nation. They travel through the currents of the ocean. Tenoch, Namor built a sun of vibranium in the middle of the ocean. Meanwhile, Nakia looks out over the beach. AI Griot has picked a signal on Shuri's Kimoyo earrings. Not sure if I'm saying that right. Nakia notifies the queen that the signal is coming from an underwater cave. The queen says to retrieve the princess by any means necessary. The queen will draw Namor out. Nakia jumps underneath and rides a water vehicle.
I think that's pretty... we haven't seen that yet, have we?
That was the first time we've seen that. It was pretty cool, like tech. It was almost like a motorbike for under the water. The thing opened up and she was...
It reminded me of that
Tron
one thing.
cycle or whatever.
It reminded me of that one vehicle from Black Adam.
Yeah, sort of like that.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
Similar. In the cave, Namor tells Shuri she's the first from the surface to come to Talokan. Namor gives Shuri his mom's bracelet. Namor tells her it was made with the plant. Shuri talks of her brother. Shuri says to not kill the student. Namor needs to know if any Wakandan is an ally or an enemy. Namor wants to wage war on the world, and Wakanda, he wants them to help. Namor wants an alliance to strike first. Namor had heard Shuri say that she wanted the world to burn. Namor wants them to burn it together.
She didn't actually mean that. She was just like angry, whatever.
It's true. She did say it, though. He did hear it.
I mean, with those pointy ears, he could probably hear something from a mile away.
That is true. I don't know if he was a teacher, it wouldn't be good because he would be able to slap you in the back of class.
Slap? I guess he was in the 30s.
Yeah, see? He slapped people back then.
I know.
With a ruler.
Oh, yeah.
He'd smack you with his winged feet. Probably hurt just as bad or worse.
With his winged feet.
Hello today, class. My name is Namor.
You can call me
Stop
Professor.
talking.
Do you think he has to cut holes if he wore shoes?
Probably. Yeah, that sucks. Every time you get new shoes, I had to cut a hole in them.
Yeah, that depreciates value quick.
Yeah. He wasn't wearing shoes in the movie.
No, because you don't need shoes underwater.
True. You could wear, I guess not.
Since he's in the sky all the time, I guess he could wear Air Jordans.
That is true. Dum-dum.
Thank you.
Yeah. CIA Langley Ross says Wakandan was recruiting Rory as part of the outreach program. The president wants action against Wakanda. Sources are telling them something else is out there. Give him time to investigate. Ross calls the queen. So basically, CIA thinks that it's the Wakandans. They think the Wakandans, did that attack and got the machine for the vibranium because they didn't want people to get vibranium. The queen said they didn't want people to get vibranium. She showed up in the UN and did all that stuff. So they think it's the Wakandans. They don't know about this new race with Namor and Talokan.
And when they heard about it, they'll be scared and they'll try to kill it. That's how the human race works.
True. Something new, so let's kill it.
Yeah.
Cape Verde, Namor surfaces and the queen is waiting and asks if her daughter is alive. Namor says yes and was requested to be taken to Talokan. She will remain there, the queen says, to return Shuri and Rory, or she will tell the Americans of their existence if Namor threatens the queen.
But he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they go toe to toe every time, I'm telling you. So it's like back and forth and she really deserves that Oscar because she really put in a performance.
I thought you said she got it.
She got the Golden Globe. The Oscars haven't happened yet, but she's nominated. So that'll always be part. She's already an Oscar-nominated actress anyway. But once they get nominated, they can always say they're actress nominated for the Academy Award, even if they haven't won. But she's won, I think. I know she's won for I think, an outstanding actress. This is supporting actress. So it would be a different award.
Right.
Back at the cave, Rory asks Shuri what happened. Shuri says Namor wants to go to war with the surface world and asks Shuri to help him. Nakia comes in and shoots one of the Namor's guards. The other puts a knife to Shuri's throat, and Nakia shoots her. Shuri tells Nakia that this means war. They escape on Nakia's underwater vehicle, and an Wakandan ship picks them up where the queen is waiting for Shuri, and they take and return to Wakanda. Namor returns to the cave and asks the guard about Shuri. She said that the Wakandans came for her, and she dies.
Oh, no.
This means war.
Yeah, I guess so.
Talokan, Namor descends to his shark mouth throne. Namor says to rise. Talokan, Namor says to Namora and Atuma that they will never think of coming to Talokan. Rise, Talokan.
I think that he could have saved that woman, though. Like, she was bleeding out, but he got there so early.
Yeah, he probably could have put some blue stuff on her or some of the herb. The herb probably would have.
Yeah, just get some of that heart-shaped... Oh, wait.
They had some. Maybe not. And he gave the bracelet away.
Yeah, like, he just gave everything away.
Yeah, he just given it all away. In Wakanda, Shuri says to fortify all the water barriers. Wakanda ships move near a water barrier, and Talokan warrior looks on. The queen welcomes Rory to Wakanda. Rory wants to go home or call mom. Nakia greets Okoye. She thanks her for saving Shuri. They talk about Nakia leaving after Thanos' attack. She talks about T'Challa. He was king and Black Panther to everyone, but to Nakia, he was everything. Water starts rising as Okoye says they were under attack. M'Baku sees a killer whale and Talakans that they start singing as rescue workers start to deploy, listen to the singing, and then they jump off the edge of where they are
Like
to their deaths.
sirens.
Yeah, so they like the sirens of old that the sailors used to see. The AI Periot tells the queen that EMTs are succumbing to a form of sonic hypnosis. The Dormelage cover their ears and throw a bomb towards the singing Talakans. Atuma calls out Okoye. Namor shows up. Namora tells Namor defense have been moved away from the queen. M'Baku hits Namor, and Namor punches and breaks his breastplate.
Yeah, he's got a pretty heavy punch there.
This is no small dude. M'Baku is no small dude.
No, he's built.
And not only does he break his breastplate, but he punches him so hard, he punches him backwards into some cafe or something.
And that's not, it wasn't very close. That was across the whole...
Across the water, yeah.
Across the stream.
So he's pretty strong. I think later on, Ku says that he's probably as strong as the Hulk, which I would say is probably true of Namor.
Whoa.
The ships fire at Namor. He flies up to take them on. Shuri attacks from a ship and fires on Namor on a bridge, and he jumps in the water, swimming away at a fast rate of speed. Namor jumps up and crashes Shuri's ship. Namor flies to the queen's throne room, and the queen tells Rory to leave. Namor throws several water bombs at the queen. They explode and flood the throne room. Shuri sees it from a rescue ship, and the queen and Yuri get sucked down under the throne room. Queen basically swims to the opening. Okoye and Nakia enter the throne room and attend to the queen and Rory while Namor taunts them. Namor says Shuri is queen now and leaves. Okoye could not save the queen. She dies. Rory survives.
Yeah, that sucks.
He said that she basically had it coming. He told him what he was going to do, and he did it.
He did say that at that one point when he said that earlier, that he said that.
So they had
He
no
was gonna do
excuse.
that.
Shuri is in her funeral garb in the woods again as a coffin with the queen's picture is revealed. M'Baku talks with Shuri. She asks why he's here. He says he promised her brother to provide her with counsel and protection. The elders want to evacuate Wakanda to Jambari land. Shuri looks at Namor's mom's bracelet in her lab.
They could call it On Ice with Namor if they did the reality TV show under.
That would be, or Namor on Ice. They could always be
Namor
like,
on
it's a
Ice.
Disney, could be a Disney thing.
Yeah, and the whole thing is like they freeze over the lake that they live in, and then they do a whole show on top of it.
There you go.
And then at the end, they get a fire-breathing dragon to melt it.
They could get the dragon from the 10 Rings.
Yeah, that'll work.
There you go.
Perfect.
Ross walks into his kitchen in his house, and Director DeFontaine is in there. She turns on the TV to the Queen Ramonda's death. She wonders what else his friends are keeping from him. Ross tells her he has no contact with Wakanda. She asks about the beads. She bugged the beads, she said. She knows all about every conversation. And she goes in the drawer and brings out some handcuffs.
How do you bug the beads?
I don't know. Wakandan technology, you wouldn't think that the U.S. would have the ability to do that, but somehow they did.
That doesn't really make sense.
It's one of those things that you're not supposed to notice, and you just go along with it, and you're like, oh, okay, she bugged the bead.
Oh, yeah, she bugged the beads.
Oh, yeah, the beads are bugged.
Yeah, the beads bugged. Beads that got bugged.
They got bugged.
Beads.
Shuri's lab tells Shuri her mother protected her like that she was her own. Shuri says they need to find a way to weaken Namor. Shuri talks about the Black Panther. Rory says she thought the Black Panther is gone. Shuri repeats the words of her mother, my brother is dead, but the Black Panther is not gone. Shuri asks Wright to run the fibers on Namor's mom's bracelet. In speaking to Rory about Namor, they discuss how he gains oxygen through his skin, or a process called diffusion. They find a way to dry him out. The Wakandans are taken to the protection of Jabari land.
Jabari land.
That's where Baku and his people are from, where they took protection.
That's where he
in
goes,
the first movie.
That's where he says, cool, gone.
Yes. Shuri talks to Okoye about the Midnight Angel armor. Okoye needs to be ready when Shuri calls. She asks about how many she made, but she has an idea. Roy is working in another part of the lab building a suit of armor.
A suit of armor?
Yes.
What does the suit of armor do?
It's like Stark technology. She's an Iron Man, but not an Iron Man.
Spoiler? I haven't seen it yet.
You got to watch it. Shuri has Griot to print the heart-shaped herb. Nakia and Shuri talk about restoring Wakanda's protector. Nakia and Rory give Shuri the heart-shaped herb. Nakia and Rory chant. Shuri sees flashbacks of her mom. She wakes up underwater under the throne room where the queen died. Shuri swims to the top out of the water as she looks out to Wakanda with the throne behind her. She calls out to her mother, and it's revealed to be Killmonger. He tells her she chose him. She denies it. He told her that she didn't think the astral plane was real. She says no. He took the herb to avenge the ancestors too, he says. He asks, are you going to be noble like your brother or take care of business like me?
Take care of business. It reminds me of that one commercial. It goes, taking care of business.
Every day.
Yeah.
Taking care of business every way. Nakia asks, who did you see? Shuri says, no one. Nakia says, I think you're going to need a suit.
A suit? Like an Iron Man suit?
Like an Iron Man suit. She's going to be Iron Man with the Stark tech.
No way.
Council is meeting, and Baku hears a ship as the Black Panther drops down, and it is revealed to be bum, bum, bum.
Iron Man?
Shuri.
Oh.
And Baku and Shuri arm wrestle. Shuri wins. He says, the Black Panther lives.
Yeah.
And then we hear, dun 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 dun.
That's the wrong one.
Dun-dun-dun.
That's not the right Panther.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
No,
Dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
that's not the right one.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
That's a different Panther.
That's not the Black Panther?
No, I don't think so.
The Pink Panther. Imagine she dropped down, she was the Pink Panther. Somebody needs to put that in a video. I'm saying you right now, put that in a video. Pink Panther drops down, and then play that song. Somebody out there in the world, do it.
Do it.
Shuri tells them to bring Namor to a distant location at sea. Shuri talks to M'Baku and tells him about Namor destroying the surface world. M'Baku is afraid of war, eternal war, he says, if they kill Namor. because he believes that they named him after the serpent god and that he will live on forever. So he's afraid of that. Shuri wants Namor dead. M'Baku, Nakia greet Shuri. Nakia tells Shuri she has a home in Haiti. In Italic, Namor and Atun tell Namor another machine is being used to detect vibranium. Namor asks,
Where is it?
in the Atlantic Ocean.
Not again.
They're trying to get them out into a desolate place. So Namor and the Talakon find the machine, and a big Wakandian ship is in the water as they chant the famous chant from the Black Panther. Shuri is in armor. Rory goes as Ironheart after Namor and says, for the queen. The Talakon climb up the side of the ship. The Dormelaju drop off to the side of the ship on the attack as Shuri, as Black Panther, assists them with sonic blasts. That was so cool when they were coming up the side of the ship, and then basically M'Baku's guys held onto ropes, and the Dormelaju went down the side. That was a really cool scene. I enjoyed that.
That was really cool.
Rory fighting Namor with the help of a ship, making him fly high up into the air. As the ship tracks him, Rory alerts Shuri, and Shuri jumps on board the ship, and they fly away. So they basically capture Namor on this ship.
Yeah, he can't get out. He's trapped in there for real.
Trapped in there for reals.
Yeah.
Namor says Princess Shuri that she's the Black Panther. Griot says the evaporation cells are activated as Namor starts to sweat and fall back.
Because he's getting too hot in there.
Getting too hot, and it's getting hot in here.
Yep, just like that.
And he's already taken off pretty much all his clothes. He's got just pants on.
He's been basically naked the whole movie.
The whole movie just has pants on.
Yeah.
Ironheart tells M'Baku and Kia that they have Namor. They say to go back to Wakanda as the ship sets sail. Namora places a water bomb, destroying the sonic emitter. Whales show up carrying Talakons and a lot of water bombs that tip the ship. Black Panther calls Okoye and Anika as they fly through the air. Namor blows up the Panther ship as they crash land. Atuma climbs the ship with the Talakons and attack Wakandans. M'Baku, Nakia, the Dormelaju fight the Talakons. The Black Panther and Namor fight on the island. Black Panther slices his wings off of one of his feet.
So he can't fly as good.
Nope, he's getting attacked.
Yeah, he can't win.
Ironheart fights those in the sea and above as Namor attacks her. Atuma and Okoye, or now the Midnight Angel, fight Black Panther, and Namor fight. Ironheart defeats Namora, and then the Midnight Angel defeats Atuma.
Yeah, and earlier she was like, I don't like that suit. That suit is ugly.
But she was kicking some butt in that suit.
Yep.
Namor stabs Black Panther with a spear, and she falls back. She's remembering Killmonger, the words that he said. Are you going to be noble like your brother? Or are you going to take care of business like me?
What'd she say?
She jumps over Namor and burns him with the ship engines that are crashed on the beach.
Oh, no.
And thinks of killing him. Then the queen shows up in the ancestral plane and calls to Shuri and says, show him who you are. Shuri tells Namor to yield, and Wakanda will protect your oceans. Secrets and your people will live. Vengeance has consumed us. We cannot let it consume our people. Namor sees his mom in Shuri as he yields.
Yeah.
It's a pretty powerful scene there.
Wait, did someone cry?
Yeah.
Who cried?
It was just powerful because she saw her mother finally, and she'd been wanting to see her mother.
Yeah.
She didn't really want to see Killmonger, but she saw Killmonger because she had to make a decision like this one, and her mother shows up just in the nick of time.
We got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Black Panther and Namor show up on the ship together. Namor says, let's return to home. Our fight here is done. Shuri says, Wakanda forever.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie.
Yeah. Wakanda's return home from their exile in Jimbari land. Shuri plants heart-shaped herb in the forest near where they first met when her brother died and they first met when her mother died. Shuri lets Rory leave, but with no suit, and they fixed her father's car. That was a nice little homage because she really cared about Okoye wrecking that thing. And she did. She wrecked it.
Yeah. I like that they brought it back, though. It was a nice ad.
So when they had the festival, when they named the Black Panther, when they fought on the side of the rocks there and all the Wakandans had showed up, there was another scene like that. But M'Baku shows up. They think it's Black Panther, but it's M'Baku. And he says he wants to challenge for the throne.
Yeah.
Ross is in a van, arrested with guards, and is freed by the Midnight Angel. In Haiti, Shuri arrives to see Nakia, and she says that everything is ready as she burns her funeral attire and thinks of her brother and cries. Very powerful scene there.
Wait, did she wear it to her mom's funeral too, or?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, you should have just kept it for that little bit longer, and then burned it after that.
Sure.
Because like then you just have to buy a whole new one, and then have to go look for one and pay for it. It's just a whole hassle. You could just use the same one.
Yeah, that's probably true. She did use the same one. I think she burnt that one that she used for both of them.
Yeah, and then you have to burn the next one.
Yeah.
That's just a whole waste of money.
But it's after a year, so it's basically like it's past, like it's done.
Yeah.
Back in the ancient times, women would wear all black for a certain amount of time. I think it was for a year as well.
I didn't know that.
But in this movie, they're wearing white as their funeral attire.
I noticed that.
In the mid-credit scene, Shuri is still on the beach as Kia and a boy ask if they can join her. And he introduces himself as Toussaint, and it's Nakia's son, and says, hey, this is your auntie. And Shuri asked if her mother met him, and Nakia said that she did. And he said that's his Haitian name. His real name is T'Challa.
Yeah, you know what that scene reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the end of She-Hulk. Because then he came on with Scar or whatever.
He came up with Scar, yeah.
Yeah,
it was my son.
Yeah.
Everybody's introducing their son lately. And then it says, after all the credits go by, it says dedicated, or it says after all the credits go by of all the people that were in it, dedicated to our friend Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, there's no end credit scene. It says, the Black Panther will return.
What?
That's what it says.
What?
That's what it says. One thing I want to talk about, and then we could talk about what we thought about the movie or whatever, and that is the scene when the queen mother comes to Haiti. She sees the 3 kids. One of the 3 kids is T'Challa.
Is it?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, so she actually sees the kid before she sees the kid, or before we don't know that's the kid.
Do you think that's where she met him, or do you think that they met earlier?
Might have been she just met him again. It might have been that's when she met him, but we don't really know when she met him. But we know that she met him.
Yeah. What did you think of the movie?
When we first watched it, it was like just really emotional, like at the very beginning, just basically all the way through it, because you just felt the power of it, because Chadwick died in real life, and that was their guy. That was the Black Panther. That was everybody's guy. And to try to do a movie after that, a lot of people just thought that the director, Ryan, was just crazy. And I believe that he wrote a beautiful movie. A lot of people might not agree, but I just felt like they really paid homage to him, and at the same time brought everything up a notch, just as far as everything that was going on. And so that was cool as well. What did you think?
I really liked it. I did think it was kind of long, but I don't think that was like a major problem with it. I did like it. I think the third act had a very good callback to like the rest of the movie, and I like that they brought back Killmonger for that part. Overall, I thought it was like a good movie. I just wish that like the rest of I feel like the rest of the movies have been pretty down compared to the other ones.
It's just when the movie's length is so long, really don't want to watch it again. When I was doing the notes, I felt like I was like almost done. And then I'm like, another 2 hours? But it wasn't like on the last episode, we talked about Black Adam and that movie being long. It didn't feel long when we watched it, but when I was doing the notes, it felt long because I was like, oh man, there's another hour left? Goodness gracious. And that last hour just seemed like it went by just regular time. It doesn't make any sense, but it didn't seem like it went faster because there was all the action involved. Normally when there's a lot of action involved, it feels like it goes by quicker, but and there was like still another 30 minutes left. But so that it just makes it hard to rewatch. But I'm glad I rewatched it and saw some of the different things that I missed the first time. One of the things I was telling you about was the heart-shaped herb and their idea for bringing Ironheart into this story. And she uses a heart. And not that's how it is in the comics, but I just thought that was cool to tie it into the heart-shaped herb and that kind of thing. And I didn't really catch that until the second time we were watching.
Yeah, I know this is a loaded question, but what did you think of it out of all of the Marvel movies?
I think it's probably like they're in the middle somewhere out of all the 30 or so films. And if you had to do like a meter, like up or down, I would say it's probably towards the top percentile of the movies. So if you are looking at it in thirds, it's probably the top 1/3 of all the movies. Because I thought overall it was beautifully written, beautifully acted. The Queen deserves the Oscar for this. I don't know if she'll get it, but she deserves it. And she got the Golden Globe. But she put in a great performance. Shuri put in a great performance. Rory, Okoye, all of them put in a really great. And Baku, they all put in a great performance. The guy that did Namor, and then his supporting cast. They just all just risen to this level. And one other caveat I'll give you, and I'll turn it back over to you, is that the actress that played Rory was the original actress that I think was like runner up for Shuri.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was another little tidbit that people might not know.
I was going to say something similar. I was going to say it was like above average to me. I think it would still be in the middle. I feel like it was up there with Spider-Man Homecoming because I really liked that movie, and I can't think of any other movies that are around there.
There's not a lot of movies that you'd watch both or all three of them. And this would be one that I could see me watching both Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
The Thor movies aren't like that. Like you'd probably watch two of them. Iron Man, we seem to watch all the Iron Man movies. That's just something that we do in our house. Captain America's the same way.
Yeah, you watch all the Captain America movies.
Yeah. 3 out of the 4 Thor movies.
Yeah.
But like Doctor Strange, like I think the second one I'd probably watch over the first one because the first one's still good, but it's just, I don't know. It's not as good. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd probably watch the first one over the second one. Just not a fan of the second one. I didn't like the whole Ego Planet and all that stuff. But we digress.
We should do like a tier list. Maybe we'll do that after the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that so we'll know where everybody is on that list. But our next movie up for Marvel is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, yeah.
Which they've showed some trailers for. There was a Super Bowl trailer, and there were some trailers before that. Looks like going to be pretty good. Some of the Guardians might not make it out.
Uh-oh. You excited?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good. They pushed back, in case you haven't heard, they have pushed back the Marvels movie.
Yeah, they pushed it back again, didn't they?
It was July or June. I think it was July 20th or 30th, and now it's going to be like November 10th or November something.
That's crazy. They switched that with Quantumania, didn't they?
Yeah, they did switch it. So it was supposed to come out. It was supposed to already be out now, and they switched it to July, and then now back to November. They did release a poster. The poster looks pretty cool, but Quantumania wasn't getting a lot of good press, and almost on the same day or the day after, they released the Marvels thing saying that the date was pushed back. So it wasn't whoever thought that out. I know they normally do that kind of thing well in advance anyway. They probably thought it was a good idea, but at the time, they probably should have waited to do that.
Yeah.
But I guess when you're down, go ahead and be down.
Hopefully Guardians of the Galaxy 3 would bring that up because the Guardians is a good movie series going on.
Yeah, and I'm sad to see it be James Gunn's last movie. He's doing the DCU now.
Yeah.
Which when we get into one of our DC EU movies going into the DCU, we'll talk about that a little bit, but I really don't like his whole new plan of what they're doing. There's pieces of it I like, but I'm like, we've already had so many resets.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do we pay attention to? What we talked about when we were talking about Black Adam. It's you want to do it and then you don't want to do it. And they showed that during the Super Bowl too, and some people are coming back, and it's exciting, but at the same time, it's like, what is it really going to pay off? Yeah. So it's, at least with the Marvel movies, even when people say that they're bad, there's still that interconnective tissue, which they're talking about maybe doing away with because there's so much interconnective tissue revolving around it. But I feel like, not that you have to go see it because you don't have to do anything, but you have to because you want to know what's coming up for the story, and you don't want to miss one and all those types of things. But yeah, we should do a breakdown of all of them.
I could find a tier list that we could do. Yeah,
we should do that. Take a look at it. All right, are you ready to get into the show?
Yeah, I guess.
Let's do it.
You are watching TV on the Hero Chat Show.
All right, Lucusfilm, Star Wars Andor, release date September 21st, 2022. Now showing on Disney Plus, all 12 episodes, starring Diego Luna as Cassian Andor, Stellan Skarsgård as Lutheran Real, Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma, created by Tony Gilroy. In a dangerous era, Cassian Andor embarks on a path destined to turn him into a rebel hero. We start off with episode 7, the announcement. The repercussions of the Aldhani heist reach all the way to Coruscant, while Cassian returns home. Coruscant, Cyril's mom's apartment. We're back to Cyril, which I know that you love.
Yep.
And I tried, when I was rewatching, not to include all of his elements, so some of his elements might not be in here, but when it was part of the narrative that we needed, I kept it in there.
They would just go back to him, and then he would just be like eating food, and his mom would be like, "Get a job," and he'd be like, "Yeah."
Eating his space Fruit Loops, yep. That's about what he was doing. Cyril and his mom were eating breakfast. You could have wrote this Tuesday. And they talk about his outfit for his interview with the Bureau of Standards. A man on the newscast says terrorist attack and robbery at the Imperial Armory on Aldhani.
Uh-oh.
Not good.
Nope.
ISB Deidre is getting dressed in her Imperial uniform. Measures adopted Empire-wide today. The tribute tax is 5 times the amount stolen from Aldhani. No one steals from the Empire. The Emperor says the ISB is taking the lead and moving forward. The Emperor special Senate session to free the ISB hands in all matters of surveillance, search, and seizure. So this doesn't mean or bode well for any of the Empire's subjects.
Not at all.
It's going to get harder. But as Lutheran says, they need to tighten the grip so people will know that they need to fight for.
Yeah.
In Lutheran's shop, Lutheran listens to the radio. Basically, 80 million credits. All military personnel at the garrison were replaced. Aldhani residents were taken into custody. Mon Mothma shows up returning Perrin's gift. Mon asks if it's him for the Aldhani attack. Lutheran denies. Lutheran revelations are expensive. Mon says it was you. And then the network's been built itself up.
That's not good.
Nope, never is. In the Bureau of Standards, your favorite Cyril is interviewed, and they have an opening in the fuel purity. And then basically the transports in the subway stands near a mark on the ground. This is Lutheran's helper at the shop. Deidre asks for a multi-section data blend going back 2 years. Imperial Navy bases and repair facilities, all missing avionics, computer navigation, and targeting equipment, all star systems. She tells the little chap that doesn't want to do the work. Cinta uncovers a speeder on Aldhani as the Star Destroyer flies overhead. She tells Vel about a loose end, Cassian Andor, or Clem, and he tells her to find him and kill him. This is Lutheran's shopkeeper.
Yeah, because she doesn't realize that guy turned on her.
Yeah. So we see her meet up with Lutheran's co-worker there.
Yeah.
On Ferrix, Andor arrives at Marva's house. Ferrix is under Imperial authority. B2EMO says that Tim turned Andor in. Marva lets Andor know Tim is dead, and Andor tells her that he has enough credits to get him and them anywhere if they go tonight. Andor checks on Bix, and they pull out first thing in the morning. In Mon's apartments, the party talks to a home friend about the tax from the Bank of Calamar. 3 people in the galaxy know because she needs his help. It's basically an old friend. Mon Mothma is a lie, a projection, a front. She's raising money. She needs to access her family accounts, raising them out for children outreach program as a front. Perrin is not to be trusted, she says. Her own husband.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
That's never... If you can't trust your husband, who can you trust?
Exactly. Some people don't, so in this instance, she doesn't. On Ferrix, Andor breaks into Bix's yard. Tim thought Bix and Andor were back together, and he asked about the buyer. Flashback to troops marching. Clem instructs Cass, it's not our fight. People throw rocks. Clem stops them. Andor goes back to Marva and tells them, Andor, she says they can't go. Marva talks of the rebellion, talks about the attack on Odandi. People are standing up. Work that needs to be doing. She tells Cass he has a different path. He tells her he will have no peace because he'll worry about her. And she tells him that's love. You can't stay and she can't go. She tells him to stop searching for your sister and let Kenari go.
From that point on, he does stop searching for her.
He does, and they brought it up because maybe it was some point that we were going to go through, and we never heard anything more about it until just then.
Yeah.
At the ISB, Bliven filled a charge against a fellow supervisor. Supervisor Miro Deidre is getting sector data without filling a request. Deidre uses Imperial Emergency Act to access data focused, organized on a rebel effort to acquire Imperial military components. The director reassigns Orlani sector to Deidre, and that also includes
Ferrix wheel.
In the Niamos, a vacation resort, Andor is in the shower accessing credits out of his case. Puts the case above the shower. Andor now, Keith is walking on the beach, and a man running with Shore Trooper after him. The Shore Troopers arrest him, and a K-9 unit holds up Andor.
Yeah, this is kind of messed up right here.
Yeah, so Andor gets arrested. When he's at the judge, Keith is used to a 6-month sentence, or he was going to get a 6-month sentence. Now it's 6 years.
Yeah, that's tough. Only for standing.
Basically for standing, and that was it. That's episode 7 of Andor.
You have anything to say about it?
I like that they went to the beach. Saw that. That was pretty cool. It seemed like he was trying to start a smuggler's life, be like Han Solo or something.
That would have been cool.
See where that went.
Would have been a different direction to take it in.
We'll go on to episode 8, Narkenia 5. The Emperor catches up to Cassian, but as of yet, they are unaware of his identity and his past. Andoran prisoners are pushed by shore troopers to transits, Belsaves and Narkania 5. At the Bureau of Standards, Cyril is working as 2 MIB guards come to his desk. Prisoners on the transport are asked to take their shoes off, guard leaves, and prisoners are locked in their seats. ISB headquarters, Deirdre Mira opens the door to interrogation room, and that Cyril is in. Cyril asks about Blevin, Ferrix reoccurring incident or reliving the incident meeting because he kept requesting the Bureau of Standards Data Center to look for Andor. 6 false reports, Deidre asks. What is he missing in the report? Cyril says he just signed it. He didn't read it. Deirdre leaves and asks him to give her the report to read so he can take a look at it finally. Narkenia 5, mostly a water planet with at least 5 big sunken facilities. Deirdre talks about Andor's Starpath unit and him transferring to Ferrix to someone they call Axis. An organized rebel effort to acquire Imperial gear. Go to Ferrix, identify the thief, then who can identify Axis?
No one can.
And so they've given Lutheran this identity of Axis, which I think is pretty cool.
It's a really cool name for a mysterious guy.
Mysterious. Why so mysterious?
Mysterion.
Imperial facility. Prisoners are told by the guards to be on program with their hands up and no shoes on the prisoners' feet. Prison guards enters with heavy boots on, welcoming them to Narkania 5, an Imperial facility. The facility assesses a labor-worthy transferred to level assignment and a workroom, then turn the floor on to shock the prisoners.
Must be rubber shoes.
That's why they don't have shoes on.
Rubber soles.
Andor is dressed in white jumpsuit as he passes by A rack of boots stops at a guard station. It says on program, guards says the new man is on 52D as guard is missing from assignment. Andor is taken to work table and explained from Kino Roy, the unit manager, and the 12-hour shift. They're assigned to table 5, and he is. There are 5 tables. They're all scored. Andor plays against all the other tables in the room. Kino plays against all the other floors. We meet the table, and Melshi is there, and they are basically 6-sided, looks like a metal star is what they're making.
Wonder what they could be making.
I don't know. Some people speculated, and they were right. So we'll talk about that.
But we don't know yet.
A little later. Coruscant, Mon, and Perrin are taunting Tay as he shows up to talk to Mon about the new banking regs and Imperial auditors. Andor and the prisoners are getting off work. Andor sees the prisoners signaling other men on other floors. They are taking to the block. Prisoner explains that the lights, when they're white, they're cold. When they're red, they're hot. White lights flashing 7 seconds to get to your cell. Prisoners talk about PORD, the Public Order of Resentencing Directive for rebel activity. Hot floor, and then lights are out.
They say it's a hot floor, but really it's like an electricity floor.
That's what the prisoner, it's a hot floor.
Yeah, but it's really like an electricity floor.
Basically, they'll get shocked. They'll die. They'll get electrocuted.
Yeah.
Lights on the floor, and then they're off. The prisoners line up at the shower, dressed back to work. It's been 30 shifts later. Andor table with his chances of winning the shift today. Ferrex Brasso walks through town. Bix is talking to Marva. Marva fell. Brasso and Bix talk about Marva being obsessed with troopers and looking for tunnels under the hotel.
Yeah.
So the rebellion can sneak in. She's a rebel. Brasso asks about the daughters of Ferrex. That was a pretty cool thing that she was still running around trying to figure stuff out in her old age.
Yeah, she was always a rebel.
Yeah. She was running around like, where are the tunnels at? I know there's tunnels around here somewhere. Probably couldn't remember, but she knew there were tunnels. Vel and Cinta are in a cafe across from Marva's house. Bix visits Pac and wants to use the signal in the hidden
tower,
which is not a good thing to do.
No.
At Lutheran's shop, calling for Kayla. She's listening to the radio from the shop owner on Ferrex, trying to find Andor. His mother is ill. He knows it's Bix. Kayleen, Lutheran does. Vel can have a look since she's already out there.
Yeah.
Lutheran leaves Coruscant to Segre Milo.
I don't know who that is.
That's just a planet.
Oh.
Bix goes to Yard, and the Empire is all over it. Brasso said they took Pax to the hotel. Imperial calls Bix's name. She runs, as she should. 2 tubes. Lutheran asks Saul if Eldani was him and the equipment for Saul for money. Meet with Krager first, he says. Need to put together, and they don't want to. Saul doesn't want to, so there's no sale today, he says. On Ferrex, Bix is caught by the Empire and taken to the hotel. Pac is being interrogated by Deidre, where they take Bix. And then on Narkania 5, Andor and his table working well together. And that's the end of episode 8.
Not episode 8.
Yeah, so the prison scenes were all white, and a lot of people were reminded of George Lucas's THX 1138, which, if you watch any of his movies, he tends to hide 1138 somewhere in the movies, and that's where THX sound came from. So they took that on a little bit, so that was cool with the white jumpsuits and all that.
Yeah.
That was neat, I thought. Episode 9, Nobody's Listening. Under intense scrutiny while in prison, Cassian makes allies to plan an impossible escape. On Ferrex, Deidre and Dr. Goyce interrogation of Bix. She's brought in because of Pac, because of a hidden radio. Deidre trying to get the identity of Axis and the list of the stolen Imperial equipment. Bix says she doesn't know the buyer, Axis. Deidre asks about Andor. On Narkania 5, Andor and his table are making parts. Ulif has 41 days. The next man out. While working with his table, they pay attention to how a new man is brought on the floor. Andor goes to the bathroom to cut a pipe. They discover the lift is not the same as the floor, as guards don't have boots. They discuss an escape plan. And this is intercut, basically, with Bix being tortured. Deidre says to keep Bix as a witness. Her officer wants to hang Pac in the square.
No.
Yeah, a poor Pac.
Doesn't deserve it.
Coruscant in Senate talks about the resentencing as senators turn off their lights on the pods, not in support, and the driver tells Mon that her cousin has arrived at the residence. A cousin?
Uh-oh.
I know.
Who could that be? I was scratching my head in confusion.
We were like, who is that? We'll find out. Arcania 5, while going to the chambers, the prisoners are helping the man signal to other floors, says it's level 2. Station's powers down, then powers back up. On Coruscant, we find out that Vale is Mon's cousin, who's brought gifts to Leda, the daughter. Vale says she's been traveling. She says the rebellion comes first. Narcania, Andor talks to Pino about escaping. Andor asks how many guards are on each level. ISB, Deirdre gives briefing on Ferrex. Bix gave her the info to lead to Pele, a rebel cell, trying to connect Andor to Aldhani. Marv is bait for Andor. Arcania 5, the next shift over prisoners, say level 2, was fried out. They killed all of them are gone. Both ships, 100 men. The other manager knows as well.
What do you think happened, Dad?
They killed 100 men.
Oh.
So it was a mutiny or something.
Mutiny.
We'll find out. Coruscant, Vale finds out about Tay and the bank and the money, and then Vale leaves. Cyril waits for Deirdre, thanks her for the promotion. Report of a rebel pilot on a destroyer off Sterngard and Tina Krieger's group. Tay meets about the accounts, and a $4,000 credit withdrawal is a problem, but they need a loan. Davin Scullin is a wealthy thug. He wants Mon to meet him at her house.
Why are you talking so slow?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing if you're paying attention, or the listeners haven't fallen asleep, or maybe I'm putting them to sleep.
There's no aliens to talk about, so probably are.
True. And there was a few aliens when I went back and looked.
Some.
Yeah, some. ISB telling us there is a raid on the power station at Spalas. Plan is to kill the pilot, leave him on his ship, and stage an accident. Arcania 5, something's happened with Ulaf into the shift. Ulaf needs a doctor. Andor and Pino stay with Ulaf. He has a massive stroke. Andor asks what happened on level 2. Pino asks about level 2. They made a mistake. The man released on 4 ended up on 2 the next day. Word got out, and they were killed, the entire floor. No one gets out. Not now. Not after this. Andor asks Pino again how many guards are on each level. He answers, never more than 12.
Uh-oh. Is that the end of episode 9?
That is. And Pino's on board now.
Good.
So look out. Andor episode 10, One Way Out. A rare opportunity opens, and the time for Cassian and his fellow inmates to act is now. I don't know why it just sounded like that, but that was cool. Arcania 5, Doctor takes Olaf's body out of the work floor. Cassian talks to Pino about going tomorrow. The plan works around the new man coming down. Andor tells the prisoners the doctor told them what happened on 2. Pino tells them no one is getting out. The rumors of 2 are true. ISB, Krieger took the bait of the dead pilot. Arcania 5, Kino says to listen up. There's only one way out. He tells them to play it how they want to, but considers himself dead. Ferrex, Doctor checks out Marva, with Cinta looking on. Coruscant, Davo visits Mon and Tay. Talk about a Cinderella marriage and basically fluid banking situation. He wants to hear Mon say it. Mon wants to know the cost or the fee. A return invitation, he asks, for Davo and his 14-year-old son. An invitation to her daughter, Leda.
Oh.
Not good.
Nope.
The cost of the rebellion is high. In the shop, Kayla tells Wynn a meeting with him with no name. Yes, could be. Arcania 5 prisoner asks, are we really doing this? Andor works on a pipe in the bathroom, and they get ready to bring in the new prisoner.
Who could it be?
Prisoners get ready as Andor breaks the pipe, hiding tools. Andor and another prisoner wait beneath the lift. The lift comes down. Andor stops the lift. The other prisoner and Andor climb up as the prisoner is attacked. Kino tells them to get on the tables as the guards spark the floor and the power goes out. Andor kicks a guard, and Kino, the others, our prisoner, ascend the lift. Kino hands out weapons. Andor and Kino go up the stairs, and the other men go down the corridors. A prisoner lowers the bridge on another level to help more prisoners escape. Melshi covers another bridge and helps more prisoners escape. Kino and Andor reach the main control room, tells guards to shut down the floors and the hydro power. Kino talks to the prisoners, orders the prisoners wide controls, and Kino tells them they are in control of the facility and the floors are deactivated. Get out and start climbing. We know they fried 100 men on level 2, and they're making up sentences. Prisoners have to jump in the water, and Kino cannot swim. Melshi and Andor get pushed over, and Kino stands there with no way out.
I think that's so sad.
Yep, he got all that way and got everybody else all that way, and then he couldn't escape.
I feel like if enough men tried to help him, they could have just like swam for him, basically held him while they were swimming.
Yeah, we really didn't see any of the other prisoners after that. They just focused on a few, which I'm sure you know who it is.
Yeah.
On Coruscant, a man makes his way to the lower levels, takes a lift, checks the ceiling for an earpiece. He speaks to Luthen. The man tells of a new superior rising, Deidre Miro, and of a suspect she's calling Axis. Encourage her, he says. Luthen denies Eldani. She captured Anto Krieger, rebel pilot, and the attack on Spellhaus. Luthen will sacrifice Krieger. The lift opens and we see Luthen. He calls him Lonnie and says, tell him why we are really here. So basically, we can't do this anymore. Working 6 years, working with the ISB, the sacrifice that he's made is damned for what he does, Luthen says, is sacrificed everything. He sends Lonnie on his way, and Lonnie is the one that's working with Deidre Miro with the red hair and the mustache.
Yeah.
On Nocania 5, Andor and Melshi are running on land away from the prison on the water.
Uh-oh.
Yep, so they escaped.
I thought that episode was really cool. That was probably one of my favorite episodes of the show.
Yeah, it really had some good build-up. It was really like the first episodes we talked about when they did the Eldani raid. It was just like the build-up. And I even said to you, I said, they're probably going to spend 2 episodes on
the build-up.
Prison Planet, build it up, and then they're going to have a whole episode of them escaping. And they did.
Yeah, you were pretty accurate on the money with that one. You were.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I enjoyed it. Andor episode 11, Daughter of Ferrix, a fugitive once more. Cassian must make his next move before it's too late. On Arcania 5, Melshi and Andor on a cliff while a ship flies overhead. Ferrix focuses on B2, talks to Babu about Marva. The Daughters of Ferrix require B's assistance in matters of grave importance. Daughters of Ferrix take Marva outside as B whimpers, while the town, Sentinel and Imperial spy, Corv, they have a conversation about Marva. On Nocania 5, 2 local aliens talk near the shore in some lakes as Melshi and Andor overlook them from the cliff. Both crawl down to get a closer look and see that they have a quad jumper. Melshi makes a run for it, and 2 automatic nets capture them. So you got your aliens.
At least one of them is important to the story.
Finally got some aliens, but there are aliens too out, but we don't see them as prominently as we would see them in Star Wars.
Yeah, it just feels off not seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, more of them. Even behind the scenes, like you could say they couldn't use them on Eldani, but they really could have behind the scenes. Or even the villagers could have been. There could have been some.
That's what I'm saying.
There could have been some aliens mixed in with the villagers. On Ferrix, Deidre is told about Marva's passing, asks To close Rick's road, Deirdre says, we want a funeral, keep it small, limit the time, limit the numbers, 2 days. Ferrick's custom, the dead are bricked, is what they say to Deirdre. Arcania 5, 2 local aliens, Frida and them discuss 1,000 each for escaped prisoners. Prison has spoiled the water, they say. Melshi and Andor blame the Empire and are freed, and they go to Namos.
Namos? That sounds like Namor.
Yep. Close. They must have known we were talking about the movie.
Maybe it's Namos on ice, and they're just going to see the musical.
Could be. They're on water.
Yeah.
Show up anytime.
Must be that. I'm right. I know it.
Lutheran shop on Coruscant. Clea cleans coins as Vale shows up at the door. Clea opens the door from the counter and asks if she can help her. Talks about her cousin, Mon, and stops there. Vale asks, where is he? Clea tells her, we have rules for a reason. Vale said that she sent up a flare. Kenya asked about the information. Andor's mother died. Cinta says it's very busy there. Clea will let Lutheran know, she says. On Ferrick's, Imperial asks Bix about Antonio Kreger. He asks if this is the man she introduced to Andor, and Bix sobs. Bix really went through a lot with that doctor and the kids screaming, or voices that he recorded of kids screaming or dying or whatever it was.
Yeah.
She's really torn up like they were on some of the Star Wars movies. Coruscant Mon watches over Lita as Vale comes in. The old ways of Chandrilla, Vale says to Mon. Tell me you're not taking proposals. Mon tells Vale she's in trouble. Mon was able to pull credits from her family trust without a trace. Her Lutheran contacted a banker back home. She warned the Imperial inspectors were taking a look at Tradilla accounts, and Mon tells Vale she found a solution as Lita enters and Mon looks on. Yep. Price of the rebellion.
Happens.
This is your friend Cheryl. Sergeant calls to tell him about Andor's mother. Sergeant Mosk has passed away. He might show up at the funeral, Andor, so he's warning your buddy.
Stop calling my buddy.
That you don't like.
If any character is my buddy, it's that Anvil guy that plays the anvil.
Cyril.
No.
Andor is in his old hotel room getting his guns and credits and manifesto. Made it back to that same planet he was on where he was arrested by the shore trooper and the K9 unit on the beach. Lutheran visits Saul. Saul tells him he's in and will do the Spellhouse power station raid. He tell Krieger he's in, and Lutheran tells him that ISB knows about Krieger's plan and they're waiting for him. And Saul says, Krieger doesn't know.
That was a good.
You like that?
I know that you practiced that.
You like
that?
that?
One was really good.
You're willing to burn him? It's your decision, Saul.
That is really good.
Thanks. I've been practicing. Saul thinks he has a spy with him, and it's Lutheran. Says, no, it's two Tubes. Tubes moves closer, and Lutheran steals his gun, points it at Saul, convinces Saul that Krieger needs to go down, and Saul agrees.
Yep.
Clea calls Lutheran, and they speak in code about Saul. Andor and Cinta and Vale. Comms go out. Imperial Patrol. It's an arrestor cruiser, a Cantwell class. I used to follow Cantwell on Instagram. They prepare the tractor beam and start to pull the ship, Lutheran ship. The ship's computer is preparing countermeasures for him. And to arm, Lutheran fires countermeasures and destroys the satellite dish. Ties are launched. Tracker beam is down. Lutheran blasts. 2 ties and 2 more with what appears to be a spaceship lightsaber on both sides of Lutheran's ship. It's a double-bladed lightsaber. And then he shot a couple of ships, gets the other 2 with the double-sided lightsaber, and then jumps to hyperspace.
I wonder why we've never seen that after.
So cool. I was like, what is going on? He's got like a freaking lightsaber in his ship.
Why did the Jedi do that?
I don't know. That was so cool. And people speculate that he might be Jedi or he might be related to the Emperor somehow or something like that. So this might say that. It might not. Who knows?
Right.
On Ferrick's, Andor calls ZaneMan freight and said he needs to get a message to Marva. Andor, Zahn calls him Cassian. He has words for Mara. Zan tells him his mother is dead. Melshi waits for Andor. Melshi says that they need to split up. People have to know what's going on. Melshi leaves, and Andor looks at the ocean view.
Good for him.
You know what happens when he looks at the ocean view the next time?
No, I don't.
It's at the end of the movie. Rogue One.
That hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't, but he's looking over the beach.
You can't. That hasn't happened. That's spoilers.
Episode 12, Rick's Road, the season 1 finale. Cassian returns home to Ferrex, a tinderbox that is experiencing a spark of rebellion. Ferrex DiGramiro is arriving on a stormy Ferrex and immediately is spying on Bix. Brasso gets off work, Zanin, and indicates he spoke to Andor. Korv and Dedra walk the tower in disguise, with Sita following them. Nershi gets on drunk to get information, and Nerchi is the guy that had the big alien guy that was trying to shake down Andor in one of the first episodes. So he's trying to get information from Zan by getting him drunk.
Right.
Pak's son makes a bomb on Coruscant. Mon waits on Perrin and asks the driver for privacy. She knows he's listening, and Mom blames Perrin for gambling again. Yep, she's trying to set that seed. Ferrex Vale surprises Cinta, who's watching ISB Korv, and she knows his boss Dedra has shown up. Imperials are getting ready and know Andor's coming, and Vale and Cinta need to get there first. Andor is sneaking around, visits Clem's brick, and he hears his voice. He flashbacks to them cleaning equipment. Andor sneaks into Bix's yard and finds Pegla and asks about Bix. And Pegla is the one that was in one of the other episodes when he stole the ship.
Yeah.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
Lutheran is shown looking through binoculars near his ship landing site while he reads, Andor does, some of Nemric's manifesto, or Nemric's actually reading it because it's basically written in his voice.
Yeah.
Andor is shown listening to that while he's waiting in his hideout ship on Ferrex. Dedra and the Imperials go over a map of Rick's Road. Dedra wants Andor alive. The stormtroopers will guard Ferrex. ISB headquarters, Cloris reports to Blevin and tells him what he overheard in Mon and Purvis' car. Blevin says Mon Mothma is of great importance and great interest. Blevin said that they have made some old banking moves, and this would explain it. So it worked. Her saying that about her husband. Blevin goes into Antonio Krieger attacked, and all were killed. Dedra calls in upset. He tells her that it was about wiping the taste of Eldani from the Emperor's mouth and tells her to find Axis. Lutheran leaves his ship and jumps on a speeder bike. Pegla and Andor in the sewers tells him to make it quick, and Brasso enters and hugs Andor. They talk about Marva. Brasso says Marva said that none of this is his fault.
It's not.
It's already burning. He's the first spark of the fire, she says. He will win, be an unstoppable force for good. They'll talk about Bix in the hotel as of 3 days ago, tells Andor. Lutheran comes up to Vale. Vale tells Lutheran about the ISB supervisor, and Lutheran knows it's a woman. Lutheran asks where will they take him. Vale says the hotel. That's our target, he says. Your favorite part, the anvil rings.
Yeah.
The guy's ringing it with his clubs.
That guy's the best. He's my favorite part of the whole show.
Musical instruments start, something we've never had on Star Wars. Daughters of Ferrex get ready.
That anvil guy he uses a musical instrument.
That's true, but I like flutes and whatnot, like a marching band. Lutheran walks disguised through town. Andor overlooks Rick's Road. Marching band followed by people and Pak's son, the ISB agent, and Cinta. Imperials want a show of force. Andor notices Lutheran. Nerchi shows Imperials where Andor is hiding. Brasso and B make their way through the crowd. The marching band get faster. Dedra takes Death Troopers to Andor's position, but he's not there. Andor moves through the sewers to the hotel and comes across Tenoch, and he asks about Bix. The crowd chants Stone and Sky. B plays a hologram of Marva. She wants to lift them. She wants Ferrix to continue. She says, we've been sleeping. We've had each other. We've had Ferrix. The Emperor is a disease. Fight the Empire. Emperor push B and Blasco kicks him. Others hit guards. Andor kills a guard. Andor finds Bix. Pac's son throws the bomb and other bombs explode. Brasso says from 2 stormtroopers, and stormtroopers fire on the crowd. Cinta following Corv and with a knife kills him. Pegla saves B. Cyril, who's on the planet, saves Deirdre from getting kicked around by the townspeople. I didn't want to mention that he showed up on planet, so I didn't say that part.
Good.
Vale and Cinta pack up. Pegla gets a ship ready for Brasco and others. Andor shows up and B sees him with Bix. He asks B to take care of Bix. Coruscant, Mon, and Perrin and Lita are shown to Davo and his son and wife. Lutheran rides the speeder to the ship, gets on the ship, and Andor is behind him. Knows Lutheran was going to kill him. Andor wants Lutheran to kill him or take him in. Lutheran smiles. There's an after credit scene. Spider-like robots put parts that Andor and the prisoners were making on the fighter, like wing designs. The camera pans out and we see it's the Death Star laser.
Not the Death Star laser.
Yeah, the Death Star like laser dish.
Laser dish.
So made out of all those little stars they were making on Arcania 5. And that's the end of Andor.
That explains how they made that whole thing on such a low budget.
Yeah, no aliens, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying this is the best Star Wars. And you and I have both said that's not true.
No.
Like Mandalorian. I mean, come on.
Mandalorian is great.
That's the best Star Wars ever.
I would agree.
And it was good. Probably better. You think better than Obi-Wan or better than, what was the one that definitely better than Book of Boba Fett.
Definitely better than Book of Boba Fett. As for, what was the other one? I already forgot. You said, no, I already forgot. What was the other one you said?
Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan. I don't know. I feel like Obi-Wan had that same kind of humanizing parts of, like, everyday life parts of Star Wars, where he went to the meat factory, stole a couple things. I think I would say that I liked it. I think the part where they go to the jail puts it right over Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and even as far as the hatred of the Empire, and I know their hatred of other species, but you think there would have been some species on Arcania 5.
Yeah.
And in that, on the prison planet, because they don't really, the aliens, which when we were watching another show that we'll talk about next time, The Bad Batch, the aliens are the ones fighting for the Empire to have more power, not realizing that they're going to be the ones that are going to not benefit from it at all.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And I feel like even with Obi-Wan, it's just a good balance of everything that is Star Wars. I mean, you have the Jedis there. On Mandalorian, you have that too. But that story wasn't just good. But Andor's good. It's just not, I don't think it's the best Star Wars ever. It ranks up there.
Yeah.
But I'd still say I think Mandalorian is for me, the essential Star Wars.
I definitely agree with that. Think about the same thing.
Yeah, there you have it, Andor. So I liked it. We watched it. I rewatched it. It was good when I rewatched it. I did notice more aliens.
Some.
On Coruscant and other places behind the scenes, but still wasn't. There was a lot on Ferrix, but there were planets like Aldani that there weren't any on, and Arcania 5, of course, that there weren't any on. We'll get into the game. Are you ready to get into the game?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's get into the game.
We're gaming together on the Hero Chat Show.
Okay, so the game is called Marvel 'S Avengers. I wanted to talk about it because honestly, the reviews for the game aren't the best. I think that the game just could have been done a lot better than it was, and I think people would agree with that according to the reviews. Now, I got this game years ago when it first came out. I played it the first day, and then I played it not too long after that because I wanted to replay it for the podcast. And the first time you play it, it's just, I was excited to play it. It was a game about Marvel's Avengers. I had played the demo, and I was like, this game looks great, and it doesn't seem too bad. But, like, when you get really into it, the levels feel linear, and for some reason, it just has, like, this over feeling of this isn't the best that they can do, and it was just there for money. And overall, the story wasn't horrible, but I feel like they just didn't try the best. Reviews would probably agree with me on that one. And so that was my feelings first going into it, because like I said, the levels were linear and it was very repetitive, and like the game, it never changed. It was just the same thing you had to do each time, and it wasn't challenging in any way. It just could have been a lot better. I played it again. Honestly, I wasn't too critical on it this time, but I didn't really go through the full story again. I just played a couple missions. Maybe there's a difference between the missions, and they also added a lot more from when I played it, because this is years later. They added 5 new characters from when I first played it, which just, I don't know if it really changed the game in a very interesting way, but they're trying to make up for the game that they had released. I don't know. I just think that compared to other games that we've gotten from Marvel, this one, it's just not it. If you're going to play a Marvel game, I recommend one of the Spider-Man games, or I think even the Guardians of the Galaxy game was better, even though people didn't really like that one that much either, from what I heard anyway. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about it. I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like the game it happened and they got swept under the rug. But I think give it a second try, see how you're feeling. I still don't think it's the best, but maybe you do. There's another thing I didn't say was that there's glitches that people have talked about and they just haven't gotten fixed after years. I don't know. I feel like the game is just, I guess the right word is undercooked. I just don't recommend it to anyone who likes the games. I'm sorry I didn't have too much to say about it, but I'm sure we got enough content from the movies and the show. But yeah, I think that, like I said, if you're going to play any of the games, play the other ones, and that's all I really have to say about it. I would not recommend it at all. Just not at all.
Yeah, Marvel's Avengers.
Marvel 'S Avengers.
What did you play that on? What, PlayStation
I think I originally played it on the Xbox, and then I had it for free on the PlayStation 5 when I got that. So I played it on there for the podcast and still didn't like it. So
was it any difference between the Xbox and the PlayStation 5? Any graphic differences or anything? Or
it did look a bit better because of how the PlayStation 5 runs, but honestly, even then, it does not make up for how it should. And even then, I heard that people still thought it didn't look the best, even on the PlayStation. So,
what about the storyline and the different tasks and stuff like that? Was that any good, or was it just kind of bland?
It was interesting. It was about the character Kamala Khan, which we've talked about on the podcast before. It was about her. It was about basically something like A-Day, where there was this thing that started the mutants. They were all being taken by AIM, basically being experimented on and killed. The story is not horrible, but it's just boring. The whole game is just boring. That's how I'd rate it. Boring out of 10.
So how long did you play it to beat it, or did you just play it and you got tired of it, or what?
I beat it the first time. I think I got just bored of the game, and so I ended up setting it on the easiest difficulty so I could just get through it. Because the game wasn't even that hard, but it's just annoying to have to. I think they give the enemies extra damage, so it just makes the game longer. I didn't really want to spend that much time on it. I don't remember exactly how long it took, but I was not willing to commit that much time to it this time.
Would you say that, what scale would you give it? 1 to 10, 1 to 5? How would you rate it out of, I don't know which number you want to use?
I think maybe 5 out of 1,000, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
So not very high.
No, not very high. To be honest, though, I think it was probably a 2 out of 10, I would say.
So we've talked about Stray on this show.
That was really good.
Better than Avengers.
For sure. That game was short, but it made up for it with great story. It looked great in general. It had a good atmosphere. The music and it was great. The story was perfect. That was a cat joke for you there, by the way. Perfect. Yeah, it's so much better than Marvel's Avengers.
We talked about the Batman games on this podcast as well.
It would be blasphemy to say that this is
nowhere
better.
Near it. Okay, so we got it. It's down at the bottom. We don't have to go anywhere.
It's probably the worst of any game that I've talked about on this podcast.
Any other thoughts about the game or the movie or TV show?
The movie, I hope that the next ones are going to get even better, even though I liked this one, because Quantumania people did not like it, but we'll get into that next time. And the show, I thought that show was great. Mandalorian's up soon. I have high hopes for that. Season 3 now. So I'm really excited for the future of what could be coming.
And the Bad Batch is pretty good as well, and it looks pretty good too. So are we ready to say goodbye, sign it off, and get on out of here?
Yep.
Call it a day?
Yes, sir.
All right. Join us next time on Hero Chat Show, where ZaneMan and Johnny Boy will discuss Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Star Wars Bad Batch, and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Check out Hero Chat Show on Instagram at hero.chat.show and wherever you listen to your podcast. Don't forget to check out our other episodes of Hero Chat Show. And I also have a podcast called Under the Influence with DJ Johnny Bravo if you like music and 9 questions around music. Also tell a friend who likes DC, Marvel, or Star Wars. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Attention listener. If you can hear this, then you've tuned in to our top secret radio frequency. But not to be alarmed. Kick back, relax, and enjoy. We're talking about Marvel and DC, but they don't have it all. At Star Wars, that's easy, but you know who to call. I'm talking about ZaneMan and Johnny Boy. The powers overflow with a master plan.